Hello my dear friends and all engineering college fraternity and folks back in the country in India. This is Probhir Ghoshal, an alumni of GEC Bilaspur 92 Electrical. I'm really grateful and appreciate that you have given me an opportunity to talk to you guys straight through the video, and I would like to take an opportunity again to thank Dr. Balveer Singh Chawla for taking this pride and the endeavor to take all the students together, past and present, along with the faculties, to embark on this great bridge that has been intended between the industry and the college. I will divide this whole of my talk into three segments. First of all, I will share what I have done, how I progressed across after coming out from Engineering College Bilaspur, what needs to be done as the motivation was for jobs and employability, and third, what needs to be done as an engineering fraternity and the folks within the industry and in the colleges, present and past, through the alumni, to take it forward as a strive that we see going and moving ahead. Me, as I told, 1992 electrical engineering, passed out. Then I went for my masters to IIT Kharagpur, specializing in cryogenics. By the way, taking a pause, cryogenics is normally taken as a branch of engineering mostly conceived by mechanical physicists, not electrical engineers. That has been proven wrong when I did my masters fundamentally on applied superconductivity. Then after that, in finishing in 1994 December, January 95, went on to take a job in a place called Vadodara in Gujarat, where I was primarily working for the India's first indigenously built second launch pad, which has been worked for GSLV. Many of us know that Dr. Alok Gupta Srivastava has been working on that one for launching different satellites to GSLV. And me, along with the team at ISRO and MECON, has successfully implemented the what we call the cryogenic system, and still has been working. I take the pride of that as a team member working for them. Second, I moved to the Europe in the year 2001, working for a company called Oxford Instruments, pioneer in development of superconducting magnets. They're the first superconducting magnet manufacturer across the world in 1963. There I developed myself from an engineer to a principal engineer, and I completed my PhD at the University of Cambridge in electrical engineering, specializing in superconducting machines. Taking a pause on what does superconducting machines mean is, we all have the conventional machines. We have the machines been working for years, but this is an applied part of it which takes a technology to a different level, where we want to have the lossless machines. Lossless in the sense the machine itself doesn't produce any copper losses and transmission losses. So this can be applied to the generators, to be applied in submarines and others. Further that, moving away from that, where I was working mostly on superconducting magnets, primarily for physical sciences and for medical sciences. Beyond that, I moved away from the UK in England, Oxford, to the US, Niskayuna in New York, working for GE Global Research Center, primarily working on next generation MRI machines. For a layman, what is an MRI machine? For a 10-year-old, what is an MRI machine? It's a simple camera that can see inside your body, period. Worked there for 2 years, filed a patent, awarded a patent, moved ahead, working now presently for federal government as a part of Department of Science, Department of Energy, under the umbrella of federal government, as a senior superconducting magnet engineer, trying to develop and facilitate the physicists to see their magics happening within the electrons and ions made through superconducting magnets. So we successfully implemented and commissioned in 2016 November the torus magnets I have been primarily involved with, and it has been proven with all the success and has been taken very positively across the states. Now coming to your point, what we need to do to create jobs and employability, I see there are fundamentally 4 or 5 criteria that I normally will tell. I think so. I have to write it down. It doesn't come to my head. My communication skills are not that great as other folks, so I need to write it down. I cannot keep it in my brain. Sometimes I go off the tangent. Sometimes I go completely 180-degree phase of what I am talking about. But trying to be in a point like what we need to do as a jobs creations and employability within the students that are studying and looking for the jobs going ahead, leaving the university or college. I believe in 5 C's. First is core and competency. The core and competency. Whatever you do, electrical, mechanical, civil, IT, computer science, electronics, you need to be good at it. You need to understand what exactly you do. For example, when you come out of the school, we know Newton's laws. We exactly know what Newton's 3 laws are. But how many people can put their hand on their heart and say, I know what is Maxwell's equation? I told that one time and again to all my students or my colleagues, my peers, up and down the line. We need to understand that. If we don't, we need to go back and study clearly, not just learning the equations. So that is very important. We need to know the core of that. We need to know exactly what we are, what we have gained, and what exactly we can contribute to. See, second thing is like courage and confidence. Both comes together. We fundamentally lack these things back in India, and people fundamentally from the colleges like Bilaspur engineering colleges, we don't have the courage and confidence to stand and say this is right or this is wrong or this is I don't know. Once we have that barrier crossed, you will be feeling so comfortable, I can tell you. So that courage and confidence needs to be a place where engineering college trains you. If you are not, ask. Third is communication. Communication skills is very, very important for all of us. I fail on that because my verbal communication is not as good as other people's. But yes, I try to write it down. I can do writing. I do write papers, write abstracts, executive summaries, reviews. That's okay in the writing skills. But when it comes to the skill of talking, I feel I'm still learning, and I will be keep on learning. I'm open to that. And that is the thing which we miss. We need to inculcate that one back in the colleges. That can only be done with lots of extempores, competitions, decisions, talk about, learn, discuss, present. Fourth comes is consistent. We should be consistent what we do, what we take. We take the responsibility of what we say, stick by the words, stop plagiarism, because we as students we are trying to copy and never acknowledge the things, which is something wrong. And this is different from the West. From the students from the school level, they always try to appreciate, acknowledge what other people has worked upon. That is really good. That is missing fundamentally in our community and back in the colleges. Final and foremost, you need to encompass yourself. Compass. You need to know your surroundings, who you are, where you stand, and where you want to be in the next 10 years. Today you are going out, but that is not the end. You need to have the zeal for learning and going ahead. That fundamental 5 things is very, very important. Now I make to a triangle of science, technology, and engineering. I see science and engineering are the 2 primitive things. Technology is the barrier which is bridges between science and engineering. Give an example. Science. Physicists do think, okay, we have to bombard lots of electrons. That's fine. For whatever reason they have in their mind. Engineers do facilitate how can we measure that. That has to be repeatable. Earlier days, people used to have the oscilloscope. Okay, we'll measure this one. We'll use the sinusoidal wave. We produce sinusoidal wave. We measure the sinusoidal wave with an oscilloscope. That's fine. Nowadays, that the things has been broadened up. Technology has come where it says how you bridge, how you do it, how fast you can do it, how reliably you can do it, how precisely you can do it. That technology is the thing that bridges between the requirement of the science fraternity and the engineering students that we are. That is the technology I see personally. So we need to come, whenever we come to the university or the colleges, we need to decide or make up our brain or mind or align ourselves to three fundamental things. Either we want to go on the research, second is on the management, or third is on the academics. Management is the biggest thing that we normally work on indirectly or directly. Management. Engineering is already done. For example, the plant is operational. Engineering is done. We are getting the science was there, what we want to do. So what is the people doing in the plants and the maintenance, how you make it profitable, how you make it reliably run without any fault, without any disturbance in the system. That is the management. Either you do by time, either you do by production, risk. These are very, very critical. If you give me a scientist, I have enough amount of money, enormous amount of money, infinite amount of money, we can go and do n number of works, but that is not going to be the goal. So management comes in the picture, like what is the motivation in the next 10 years or 12 years or 50 years we need to do. They need to put a brakes on that. That the management comes in the picture. That is very, very important. Academia is a people where you want to teach what you know to the next generation. That is important. That is very, very critical. So for that you need to understand what you think in person, and the research is the thing which is already existing. How can you evolve? How can you improve the standard, the life, through medical, through engineering sciences, through research? That's the fundamental to this one. Like, I don't think people should be forced to do that. People should be taking those out of these three things by choice, not by force. I hope I could get these points across to you guys. Fundamental thing for the engineers, as we think, as Einstein also said in the past, make the thing simple, but don't make the thing so simple, make the thing simpler. You need to understand. So once you have read something, once you understand something, try to explain to a 10-year-old. If you cannot, you are not sure, go back and study. It doesn't matter what age you are at. You are always should be open to study. If you can explain the things, whatever complexity it is, to a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old child or a person or a layman, that should be good enough. That's why I give an example before. An MRI system is a camera that can read or see inside a human body, period. Going through these things, what comes to my mind, fundamentally, three things out of that one should be a point that comes from the students, internally from the students as a proactive nature. One is core, that needs to be competency that students has to study. Nobody can make you study. Encourage and confidence. Courage and confidence is another thing that is a thing that we learn in the college. And communication, that also we learn in the college. So institutes has to help students to go ahead and teach the courage and the confidence and communication skills. Later on, the things of consistency and the compass, that will come once you go into the job. So these are the 5 phases, I think, and we need to work on that one to keep the things courage, confidence, communication and consistency across as a bridge between the engineers and the real life. So the government organizations, industries, R&Ds, professors, students has to have a bridge that will be provided by the college as an institution, going ahead, moving ahead. My personal thinking, being in the industry for a long time and in our institution reasonably well spent time, when we review the things, we go and evaluate each other, like in the scientific community here. It's nothing like I'm wrong and I'm absolutely right. Sometimes it happens like, why should I fund this person with $10 million? Then I see the project proposal, yes, this is interesting, I should be helping. Then I say, like, why didn't I work on that one? That's not the case. The thing which he has thought before, you have not thought, so you are already behind. So it is good to help him improve, and that's how we can gain as a team. Team doesn't mean like we have to say we all the time. I also comes into the picture. As a team, you should always talk, I did this, what is exactly your contribution to the project is. Not as a we. When you go out of the team and talk, then we talk, yes, we did as a team this particular work. So when you come to the project within the core team, then you have to see and individually identify what did you exactly contribute to the system as an I. For example, you have an engineers, techs, project leaders, many other folks in the system or in the project. A person is a tech. He always takes a nail and a hammer, put the nail on the hammer on the wall all the time. His work is unique. He always does nailing on the wall. Project leader, he can say, I always lead the project, I assign, I keep the record, I organize a meeting, I go to the meeting, I define, I decide the work, who's to be done. So that's how engineer needs to be very precise what exactly they contributed to. Once you write the CV, okay, I am bachelor's, I am master's, I am PhD, these are everything. But what things comes in, what exactly is your contribution to the system? You need to identify that one. Once you write it down, then you see like, really? I have not done anything for the last 20 years, 10 years, 5 years? We need to understand that one. What exactly your contribution to the system or to the society is. Next, coming to the college part of it, which is very, very important to encourage the students, is give an opportunity to the students to go outside and work. Students should be working as volunteers, going for the internships, through internships, going for the vocational trainings, others in the industry, or invite people across from the industry who are established and have been working for a long time to make the system work without a fail. Come over, and it should be done through the alumni, because otherwise it's going to be expensive to invite some other people who we don't know. So it's always good to have an alumni coming over there and motivate. That is a really, really good opportunity to do it, and we have lots of people. We should have a forum or a platform where we need to be able to publish. People should encourage the students to publish, to present within the fraternity of the engineering college itself. Don't have to go outside. Make a journal every quarterly that is suggested before in the alumni forum. But somebody has to take the pain. That has to come from the engineering college itself, and that is very true. Distinguish your alumni, make a list of that one, call them, because all the people across are well doing, well settled. They have been pioneers in their field. Let them come over, talk, get together, and there should be an yearly episode, not occasional. And try to be not a generalistic fundamentally. We need to be a specialist on all the things that we do. We should be able to put our hand in our heart and say like, okay, exactly, I know this. I'm not a generalistic, I'm a specialist, and I should be embarking on that one. Either as a management or a research or an academia, is a technologist or a scientist or an engineering specialist. I think I have talked a lot. I'd like to congratulate again the whole team members and Dr. Balveer Singh Chawla on this one, to taking this forum, this platform beyond what we are now to a different level. And we all as a students or an alumni should contribute positively, not by words, by actions, so that we could see our institutes grows and stands somewhere in India and across the world as a dot, shining dot. Thanks a lot, giving me an opportunity to talk to you guys straight away. We'll definitely love to visit sometime, and we'll share our thoughts again. Good luck and all the best for all. Thank you.